Hi, welcome to One Game Dad. I'm Gregory Palaci. On today's show, setting up your, setting up successors, or in my case, my daughter. And I'm also playing Destiny 2, which is the successor to Destiny. I didn't have an episode last week because we were traveling. We went to London because, my wife had a business trip, and my daughter, being as young as she is, can't go without her mother. But that doesn't mean, we didn't get to go have some fun. For example, we got to the London Zoo, which is a surprisingly good zoo. And given the times we were there, it was relatively empty, and the animals were surprisingly active, which is, a rarity in zoos in the afternoon. More often than not, we're talking
Let's capture this lander.
animals just kind of lying about. But no, the lions, the lions were lying about because that's what lions are apt to do. But yeah, the tigers were roaming. Didn't see any bears, so there's no Wizard of Oz joke coming in. But yeah, it was a good time overall. And yeah, I mean, traveling with young ones, especially when my daughter, she's 8 months old, 8.5 months old. There's little, we're in a routine, or we try to hold to a routine, but that routine, that routine doesn't always work. You have to be flexible, because kids, they will do what they do. But you just have to work around them. And ultimately, being a new parent, what I find works is just whatever's easiest. It's about, half of it just feels about getting through the day. The other half is trying to improve on what the situation is. For example, my daughter will not go down for naps. She will not just lie down and sleep. And I may have mentioned this before. What she will do is sleep on me. And that... Sorry. Need my morning coffee. That means she has to be strapped to me to fall asleep. Or my wife, and that means walking. In the case of... in the case of London, that meant taking her to places she had never been before, which was not always successful. In part because she didn't like all the additional noise. And that, yeah, I mean, London is a big, loud city, but it had its benefits. It was something new. She survived without issue, though we did have to get her MMR vaccine early. In part because there's lots of idiots, and if you're not vaccinating your children, you are an idiot. There's no two ways about this. There have been measles outbreaks around Europe. In Italy and France in particular, but because we were going through London, because we were going through Heathrow, with it being such a major hub, we couldn't not vaccinate her. We couldn't risk her getting injured. And, you know, my job as a parent, as a father, is to ensure that she survives. She is successful. She has everything she needs for the future. And that means well, getting her to sleep oftentimes. And I would certainly be more productive. I would certainly be able to do more if she took naps and if I didn't have to walk her for 2 hours at a time. I mean, of course, that's exercise for me and I get to listen to podcasts, but that is time that I don't get to do other things. It is time that I don't get to myself. And again, with time, maybe that will change. But for the moment, that's not what's happening. What's happening
Let's capture this lander.
Capture,
is
destroy. Either way, get it out of here.
what's happening is she is simply being difficult. Well, she's not being difficult, she's being particular. She has what works for her, and that's well, some of that is how we've trained her, and I get that. Some of it's our fault, but at the same time, when I'm alone, I'm at home with her, to try and train her out of some of these habits takes energy I don't have. And, you know, my wife doesn't begrudge me that. I don't begrudge my wife the little habits she has with our daughter that are you would call lazy or bad, because ultimately it's about doing what works and making sure the kid is happy. And there's nothing else I can do other than aim to make sure she is warm, that she is fed, that she is dry, because she is my daughter, and she needs those things. She needs sleep, and that's the priority over my comfort. It doesn't... Like, I know all parents sacrifice for their kids. And... I'm not trying to be a martyr, nor do I think I am. I am simply trying to do
I got a lander.
what I can to get us through the day, to make sure that she gets everything she needs, you know. And that's, well, that's ultimately the purpose. But it
Blew it up.
Incinerating it before it could fall into your hands?
It isn't always easy. Sorry, need another drink of coffee. And because of that, because the because she is so important, I've had to let things go. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I get this time to make this podcast and make the other podcasts that I'm currently involved with, which is set to launch. So that's called Startup Hell. Be on the lookout for that, and I'll announce more once it's live. But Startup Hell, well, it'll be fun, and I get to do it with other people, which is great. There, oh boy, too many. Ooh. I don't go to the gym like I used to, and I'd really love to go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. But these are the things I have to sacrifice. I mean, my wife's career is taking the focus. Mine is on hold. You know, this podcast, Startup Hell, those are my little ways of keeping busy, of keeping relevant. And I've mentioned this all before because I want to have something to give to my daughter. I want her to be able to, I want her to have something more. Something she can look at and her father and say, yeah, he did that. And I mean, not that she's going to care about these podcasts, but to some degree, their record. And I'm not looking to have a successor. I'm not I mean, my daughter is my successor. She will get everything I have, everything that I can give her. But I'm not looking to have, what's the word? Oh, crap. I'm really blanking on the words right now. Clearly, I need more coffee.
The taken disturb my focus. Some transdimensional nonsense.
These Taken are drinking something from the ground.
I don't care who's drinking what. Hurry up and deal with them.
She... My daughter is... Yeah, not a legacy, because legacies are... You know, legacies are really things for old men to be concerned with. And I just... You know, stay-at-home parents are undervalued. And... I don't want... Now that I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, but I want to create things. I want to create things that she's going to like, want to remember, want to participate in. And maybe that's going to be these podcasts. I doubt it, but hopefully, you know, the games, the stories I tell, the other things I create will be something that she gets to sorry. Yeah, maybe they will get to be something she participates in, she is proud of, she wants to remember. And you know, that all takes time to create. Everything takes time to create. And wow, I could really use some help here. Oh boy. Oh, goddamn ledges. Just what I need. A ledge to fall off of, and you know, I'm not creating much at the moment because I don't have the time, and I want the time. I want the time to
My focus has returned. Good. That'll be all.
to do more. I want, and that will come at a year once she's a year old. Because well, because by that point she'll be able to go to daycare. In the meantime, I just have to find ways to work with her to, you know, her and my wife to work in such a way that we can get the work in such a way that we can, you know, all do what we need to. My wife has a political career, PhD, her job. Whereas I have a podcast and live stream that really are for my own sake. I should be going to therapy, but I'm not. I get to do this for free and play video games at the same time. But hey, such is life, you know. This is a benefit of, well, this is a benefit of, well, this medium, is that I get to talk and everybody gets to listen. Really should see how I'm doing on this quest. And, you know, the way I'm thinking about it, setting up, well, my daughter, setting up my life is similar to Destiny. Like, there are all these little things going on, and I try to make them tie in to one another, to fit to what is possible in my time. Like in Destiny 2, I don't get to go on the raid, but I can do public events, I can do certain milestones, I can do some quests, not all of them, because it's all a matter of picking and choosing what one can do, what one is capable of at a particular time. And at the moment, what I'm capable of is, well, only a couple of things, and I just have to be smart about what I choose to do. I'm trying to be smart about what I choose to do. Not always, and you know, like my schedule. Like I don't always get to do things. And I'm trying to keep my load light. My wife does not work in the same way. She is continually adding to her plate. We're now buying a house because why not? Let's add to our plate. But it's worth it. It's, you know, they are worth it. What we do, what we're accomplishing. Yeah, it's great. I wish I could do more, and I will get to in time. I'm just happy that my wife understands my need to do this. Ouch. And all of it's ultimately for my daughter, even for my wife, as long as they are happy, they are getting what they need. Then, well, I'm getting what I need. Though I could get better at talking and playing video games at the same time. But every podcast is more practice for just that very thing. And well, we do what we can. In the meantime, that's the podcast. Thanks for watching. I've been One Game Dad. You can find me at onegamedad.com, on Twitter and YouTube and Patreon at One Game Dad. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And please share the show, rate us on iTunes or wherever you're finding us. Your feedback's always welcome. Thanks again. Have a great day.